Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm not Cerberus, welcome back to my channel, and today I present you with a review of the Tier 6 Premium British Battleship HMS Nelson. I've tried to make this one a little more fun than the previous video, which was on HMS Nassau. If you're watching on YouTube and you're interested in taking a look at that video, you can catch it in the link below, or if you're on Facebook, just scroll down a bit or click on the reviews playlist and you should find it no bother at all. To try and keep this video under 30 minutes, I've rejigged the order in which we're doing things. Rather than sitting looking at me circling the camera around the ship for half the runtime, we're going to take a dive into my builds and stats immediately following this introduction. And then we'll leave the port, head into our first battle where I'll go over playstyle, gameplay tips, and the design and history of the ship before doing a commentary on the final game. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the ship and her rather impressive assets. As you can see here, my preferred commander for Lady Nelson is Nelson herself of the Azure Lane variety. And while in that game this buxom blonde bombshell may have a predisposition for making threats of gouging out your eyes, here in Legends she's a highly sought after and very powerful Royal Navy commander. As a Henry Hyde, she is somewhat of a hybrid commander with the ability to spec into both accuracy and brawling builds if you so wish. While Hyde has his Alidad skill, Nelson's ace up her sleeve is her Big 7 skill, as well as a pretty tasty 6% reduction to any incoming damage fired at your battleship as a base rate. At the cost of 50% less arm penetration, you can gain 16% damage in both your AP and HE shells, which when mixed with Fournier and Gala can increase your HE damage buff to 25% when maxed out, bringing the raw number to around 8600 on the Citadel. For standard hits you can divide that by 3 for a rough estimate of how much damage you'll do. Alternatively, you could add auto celiacs instead of Fournier to bring your HE and AP damage buff to 21% in total. While those are certainly options, they are not for me. Instead, I prefer to run Andrew Cunningham for my accuracy and Henry Hyde for extra hit points, although William Tennant does make a nice alternative. For other skills, I run Flammable Cannoneer, Marksmanship, Master Mechanic, and if you haven't already picked one, don't pick either legendaries, but if you've been a fool like me and done so, up until Legendary 3, I would recommend running with Scissors. After that, you can go Farsight. This build is my tried and tested one and works best for me, however it may not be for everybody. This ship is fairly flexible in build, but I would advise against using Andrew Cunningham as your go-to commander, as while his skills are excellent for the purely offensive builds, you can't make the most of the ship's abilities, specifically her heal, with him. Instead, Charles Madden would work well with your choice for top line, Crisscross, your choice for the line 3, although if I was to have to pick, it would be Firefighter, Master Mechanic, and then Will to Rebuild, with Cunningham and either John Jellicoe for both the repair party duration, or William Tennant, as his Citadel damage reduction skill can be a godsend if you fluff up your handling. Moving on to upgrades, it's really easy. Aiming Systems Mod 2, Propulsion Mod 2, and because the third slot on the battleship is pretty much predetermined, Tag Acquisition Mod. Take a look at the consumables. Well, she's got the usual damage control party with the 15-second duration, 80-second reload time, but this ship's party piece is her heal. Don't just show sets, that number is real. This ship, using my current level 16 Legendary 2 Nelson commander, has a heal of 1352 hit points per second for 20 seconds with a reload of 73.6 seconds. To put that into perspective, HMS Warspite and HMS Hood both recover 367 and 385 hit points per second for 28 seconds. Take note that this is with a commander that isn't fully optimized for repair, so with a maxed out Charles Madden with John Jellicoe as your inspiration, you can get that inching towards 1450 hit points per second for 22 seconds. Currently though, that 1352 translates to a maximum heal of 27,040 hit points per charge, which is more than 40% of the ship's total hit points. The only battleship that can even come close to this is HMS Monarch, and well, that ship has a fairly piddly 53,000 hit point pool. Statistics wise, my current build has me with a nice chunky 62,610 hit points, along with a fairly respectable 19% torpedo damage reduction. Although, if you're using Charles Madden's and not the one for nuisance skill, you can actually get that up to 25%. Don't be fooled, however, if you're not careful, those hit points will disappear real fast, as she has plenty of ship on shore just begging to be penetrated if you don't angle properly. Onto her guns, the 3 triple 406mm guns have a nice firing range of up to 17.3 kilometers, allowing you to hit targets afar with relative ease, with a Bogo standard 30-second reload and a fairly decent 45-second on the 180-degree turret traverse. Her AP shells on the Citadel are very respectable and 13,910, but here it's the HE shells that steal the show, with an 8,004 hit point Citadel hit and a 46% fire chance. If any of you are a full nutcase and a sadist, and you have the Justinian Leon's the 13th as an inspiration, that number can skyrocket to an 86% fire chance for the duration of your repair party. Nelson's auxiliary guns are nothing really to write home about, with a standard range of 5 kilometers, although because I am using the aim season mod, that range is at 5.3. Her 6 single 120mm guns have a reload of 5 seconds and have a max damage of 1,700 on Citadels, with an 8% chance of setting a fire. Her dual 152mm guns are essentially the same guns you find on your Leander, with a 3,100 AP damage Citadel hit, although they have a fairly awful reload of 12 seconds. But if you're playing a secondary spec commander, then that's the least of your worries. Taking a look at her maneuverability now, and the first thing to point out is that she has none. That 24 knot top speed puts you second only to Colorado for the slowest T6 battleship, although here the rudder shift of 15.6 seconds isn't world ending and does allow for the occasional torpedo beats. Turn radius of 750 meters isn't too shabby mind, certainly beats out a number of the other competitors. One thing to truly note here, however, is acceleration. It is abysmal, and is the reason why I strongly recommend using propulsion mod over anything else for this ship's second upgrade slot. I've had deceased family members gain speed more quickly, and the acceleration issues don't just extend to gaining speed. If you want to slow down, you'd better book yourself a 3-month vacation, as this ship ain't for stopping. It's not a bit of wonder this ship had a tendency to hit mines and submarines and be torpedoed fairly easily. Moving on to concealment, well, she's a battleship. 13.9 kilometers with permanent camouflage by sea, 11.7 by air. Just remember that your detectability blooms to your gun range when you fire, so no matter how stealthy you're going to be, firing those guns will ruin it. And when it comes to firing the smoke screen, well, there's basically no point, as this ship is one of the few in the game that gets spotted at a longer range than her standard concealment whilst in a smoke screen. That smoke firing penalty is 14.1 kilometers, which basically means, in short, that unless you're already off your 20-second cooldown from firing your guns, you've got to be detected at a worse detection range than what you would normally. That's it for looking at the stats and the commander build. What we'll do now, we'll jump into some gameplay, and we'll also have a discussion on the playstyle, and we'll also take a look at how the ship came to be, its design, and a little bit of history before we jump onto our final game, where I'll do a commentary. Moving not so swift onto the playstyle of Nelson, she's best summed up as angle, angle, shooty, shooty, healy, burny, burny. Length, angle and manoeuvre is essential to Nelson's success. She has a lot of freeboard, which for those who are unfamiliar with nautical terms, that is the space between the waterline and the deck. That freeboard is just screaming to be shot at by the enemy. When angled properly, however, she can shrug most incoming AP shells relatively unfazed, although do take note, 15-inch shells will punch straight through your bow and stern like it's Bismarck superstructure. Yeah, no, I feel rather fat, flat. The trick is here to present them with just a tiny glimpse of your belt to try and goad them into firing at that instead of the front of the ship. This is of course a high risk, high reward strategy, as angling too much or too little and they'll just punch straight through and give your sizzle a jolly good rogering. Luckily, you don't need to be particularly concerned too much about HE spam fires. Fires are of course 100% recoverable, so you can easily let 2 fires burn out before popping your heel. You will want to use your damage control on 3 fires, however, as the cumulative damage from those 3, plus any AP shells coming your way, can send you visiting Davy Jones's locker all too quickly. Careful positioning and management of your consumables will save your life, arguably more so than any other ship with the exception of Monarch and Boise. Taking a look at the gunnery now, as mentioned at the start of the video and shown clearly here, the 3 guns are mounted in front of the superstructure and all have forward firing arcs. This gives you unbeatable firepower along your forward flanks. The turrets also have a nice rotation speed, which makes up for your own poor mobility, which should allow you to keep targets in your sights for as long as possible with a maximum amount of firepower. Nelson's guns give her much greater flexibility than many other battleships, with a monstrous fire chance, very strong HE damage and solid AP damage. She's one of the few battleships which I would honestly recommend stick with HE until a juicy broadside opportunity presents itself to you. Your HE can Citadel cruisers fairly reliably, send DDs back to port in single salvos, if of course it's well aimed, and while applying a liberal sprinkling of shells over the hull of battleships can turn them into floating barbecues. There's been more than a few occasions where a gentle scattering of salvos resulted in 3 fires in the first burst, which then of course the enemy immediately extinguished. By the time my guns come off reload, that DCP has entered cooldown, it's no longer in effect, and when I fired my next salvo, well, let's just say they had 4 fires going from stem to stern. The Wither and Arsonist medals were particularly satisfying, as was the It's Just a Flesh Wound medal, which invariably happens when I push myself too far into these situations and then get blapped out of existence by an angry Iowa. Speaking of things going wrong, having all guns at the front may lead to things that you can play this ship just like a Jean-Bart Richelieu, camp at the back of the map. No, this tactic will likely leave you dead, especially if your team loses control of one of the flanks, as this ship has 0 spotting ability and is very slow and unwieldy. Nelson is a feast for destroyers looking for an easy kill. No, don't be that person sat at the back of the map. You want to be pushing with your team, acting as a sort of midline support, but you need to be mindful not to overextend and to avoid becoming the centre of attention. That slow speed means you won't be able to get out of dodge once the proverbial shit hits the fan. As the ship lacks any spotting mechanics, as mentioned before, she doesn't get access to sonar like Hood does, and she doesn't get a plane like, say, King George V. You are going to need to rely on your team for spotting. Yes, that dreaded word, teamwork. Quite often, the team determines how well a Nelson is going to do. She's a very good ship. She has a very high skill floor, however, and a very high skill ceiling. But if the team is terrible, then the chances are the Nelson isn't going to perform at her best. You need to rely on your teammates to be your eyes and your ears, because if you're part of the centre of attention, as mentioned beforehand, you're going to get nuked into oblivion. The ship herself will take a bit of practice because she does play very differently to most battleships. But once you get the hang of her, she's very rewarding, and you'll see some quite nice damage numbers. Now time for a bit of a history lesson. At the time of her launch in 1925, HMS Nelson, along with her sister HMS Rodney, were the only 2 ships in the world fitted with 3 triple 406mm guns, and would in fact be the only ships in the Royal Navy fitted with this armament, with the subsequent King George V and Vanguard classes reverting to 14-inch and 15 inches respectively. The design of the Nelson was a modification of the planned G3 and N3 type battleships in development by the Royal Navy, which were intended to be the largest and arguably most powerful battleships to have ever existed, with the N3 having a good chance of giving even the mighty Yamato a very British glove slap had she been built. But sadly, as with most good things, politics got in the way and the Washington Naval Treaty of 1922 happened, which imposed limits on capital ships' total naval tonnage, restricted individual ship tonnage to 36,000 tons for battleships, as well as limited main gun calibers of capital ships to 406mm or 16 inches. All major signatories of the treaty were required to suspend and cancel any upcoming battleship projects. However, in response to Japan being permitted to complete the second of its Nagato-class battleships, Mutsu, the UK actually had no existing 16-inch guns, and arguing for the defence of the British Empire, the Royal Navy was allowed to construct 2 further ships which complied with the rest of the treaty. And so out the window went the 48,500-ton 3 triple 457mm gun-toting design of the N3 type, and in came the O3 type design, which would eventually become known as Nelson and Rodney. Her design was finalised in mid-1922 and authorised soon after, with the keel being laid down at the Walker Naval Shipyard in Newcastle upon Tyne, England on the 28th of December 1922. Nelson was completed and launched on September 3rd, 1925 and commissioned to the Royal Navy on October 27th, 1927. The clash is unusual in that all 3 of its turrets were mounted in front of the main superstructures, with A and B turrets superfiring and the C turret positioned behind the B turret. With her secondary armament consisting of 6 120mm guns and 6 twin 152mm guns, all concentrated towards the rear of the ship, a design that would later be emulated with the French Dunkirk and Richelieu class battleships 10 years later. With a modest top speed of 23 knots, largely owing to the advanced hull shape, she was pretty underpowered for her size due to weight restrictions, and coming in at just under 34,000 tons of standard load, Nelson and Rodney would become the most powerful battleships in the world, at least for the next decade or so. The version of the ship we see in games seems to be consistent with the summer 1953 refit, featuring the 26 single 20mm Orlocan gun mounts, along with various octuple 2-pounder pom-pom mounts dotted around the ship. Career-wise, having searched and searched for something interesting to talk about, Nelson herself seems to have had a fairly unremarkable one. It seems to have largely consisted of various escort duties and doing unspeakable things to land-based targets. In contrast, her younger, hotter sister is widely credited with turning the Kriegsmarine's pride of a nation, the Bismarck, into a floating, smouldering heap of scrap metal, and then proceeded to introduce her to a spotted battleship on Battleship torpedo sex. Fun fact about Rodney: after the battle with the Bismarck, the vibrations from her guns firing so extensively practically caused every single toilet bowl and light bulb in the superstructure to either crack or shatter entirely. Nelson, on the other hand, had somewhat a less conspicuous career, although she did have a habit of either running into or being hit by things that go boom. In October 1939, she was hit and torpedoed twice by U-56 near the Orkney Islands. However, RNG was definitely on her side, as neither of those torpedoes detonated. A little over a month later, she decided she wanted to tempt fate once again and sailed into a mine laid by U-31 at Loch Kew. This blew a fairly sizable hole in the side of the ship and injured 70 crew members, but luckily there were no fatalities, although the ship did require 9 months in port to repair the damage. Throughout World War II, she was involved in numerous convoy and fleet escort duties across the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, as well as providing land bombardment and fire support for various Allied invasions. In 1941, she would be assigned to the Mediterranean, where she would provide escort for Allied convoys to support strategic locales, ports and operations in the area. In September that year, she was hit by an air-launched sea sausage fired by an angry Italian, which necessitated more time in dock to repair the ruddy hull. Upon her return to service, almost a year later, Nelson supported Operation Torch, which was the invasion of French North Africa in late 1942. Throughout 1943, she provided bombardment support during the invasion of Sicily, Salerno and Reggio Calabria, also known as Operation Husky, Avalanche and Baytown respectively. In the September of that year, she hosted the signing of the Italian armistice. In 1944, she was involved in Operation Overlord, which was the invasion of Normandy, where she did do something interesting. She is in fact credited with destroying 5 German Tiger tanks with her main guns. She would likely have done some more things in the European theatre, however, as it become a bit of a habit for the ship, she struck another mine which went boom, resulting in being patched up in Portsmouth before being shipped to Philadelphia for more complete repairs. She returned to service in early 1945 and was sent to the Eastern Fleet to provide support for operations against Japan, including Operation Delivery, which was supporting the Allied bombing of Fuck It Island. Yes, that really is a place, it's Fuck It Island. I would love to go there for my holidays. She returned home in November 1945 and became the fleet flagship until April 1946, where she became a training ship in the following July. Nelson once again crashed into something she probably shouldn't have. This time it was the form of a British submarine, HMS Sceptre. She was taken out of service in October 1947, just a week before the 20th anniversary of her commissioning. Nelson was stricken from the Naval Register and decommissioned in May 1948 and used for target practice by armour-pleasing bombs, before being sold for scrap in 1949. Bringing to an end an unremarkable career for a very remarkable ship. So here we are, we're on Thieves of the Desert. This is our last game, and this will be the last segment for this video. Let's have a quick look at the teams. So we've got Nelson, Bayer, and I've got Indianapolis in our team as well. A bit too quick for me to be able to read that. Oh, there we've got York, Pensacola, Dallas, Mahan on our team, and on the M team we've got Hood, Nagato, Warspite, Bayer, and Helena Shores, Dallas, and Nevny. Alright, so we're going to head over to our right. We'll head over to support A. We have a Dallas with us, and we've also got a Destroyer with us. This is the Mahan. Mahan's turning with us, and the Dallas is going towards C. Of course you do. The intelligence data after, what, 20 seconds? Just wait your turn. Oh, Nelson, isn't she a very pretty ship? I do love her. Although not a lot of people think she's ugly, but yeah, a lot of people are wrong. Alright. Looks like clear waters for the time being. Mahan's steaming off into the distance. Maybe he's going to catch some fish. Or maybe he's got an appointment with his wife. Oh, there we go. We're spotted. We're spotted. Now, what's going to be the spotting us? Is it going to be a destroyer or is it going to be a cruiser? I don't like this being an open water business. Oh, we've spotted a battleship. It's the Hood. Hood's fired some shells at us. Let's see if we can return the fire. Alright, we've got 7,000 off us. Alright, return fire. Nice stat for 9,100, so he came off worse in that engagement with me. Those are interested, Hood is armed with 8 15-inch guns in a similar layout to what Warspite is. And there's, speaking of Warspite, there's one right ahead of us. Looks like he's kind of protected by the little island. Or the little village. Oh look, there's a Nagato. Shots out on him already. Shots out on the Warspite as well. So we hit the Nagato for about 10,000. Alright. Oh, the destroyer's over there, so we're safe on this flank. There's not too many ships that have got torpedoes in this game. Well, none that are long range anyway. Although this is a bad spot because we are pretty much surrounded right now. Just need to make a move and go with it. Let's see if we get another salve off on the Nagato first though. 3 guns off. Maybe we'll get a nice hit. What was that? 7,000. Not too shabby. Better than the kick in the balls. So Warspite trying to come on the island. Being very bravely going broadside to a Nelson. Especially Nelson that's almost reloaded. Ah. Well, that's a bugger. Well, we take a Citadel and a little bit more damage as well, but I think we return just as much damage to him as what he gave to us. And yes, this is where most of the enemy team are. So we have a Nagato coming around to Warspite, a Helena. I believe I've seen a Dallas. And it also, there's another Battleship as well. Yep. There's another Battleship as well in the background. So that must be the Bayern. Oh, a minor scratch. And we avoid the island like a pro, which makes a change for Cerberus because Cerberus is always crashing into things. So the enemy have got B. Oh, no, that's A, not B. Enemy have got A under contest at the moment. And Warspite is slowly but surely making a retreat from the dangers of my frontal firing guns. Oh, ooh, spot the Nagato again and give another salvo. We're going to get in on the Nagato. We take some damage. We take about 2,800. Managed to angle to avoid most of it though, which is good. Alright. Warspite is not giving a toss about what's going on around him right now, by the looks of it. It looks like we're going to be able to get a nice set of shots off on him. Yes, we are. Oh, look at that. Up the bum! And Helena looks like he's gonna play a game of Round Around the Garden. Let's slow down because the Helena's AP can be pretty nasty, so we don't want to go broadside to that for too long. Oh, and there's also a Bayern there as well. This just keeps getting better and better. But we are already up to 57,700 damage, which isn't too bad. Alright. Helena is not going to be particularly brave. He's going to stay for a little bit, I think. Probably a good thing, and probably a good thing for me as well. You take 2 minor hits again there. And another minor hit. That actually looks like more full penetration, actually. 3,000, that one. Right. Oh. Another hit. That was 2,800. Okay, let's reverse a little bit. Hello, Bayern. Say hello to my shells. Can we slap you for a bit? Just short of 5,000. Although he does get assisted on us, which leaves us down at 20,000 hit points now. Yeah, not ideal. Although the teams are even, Although they are slightly ahead on points through caps, which is, again, not ideal, but let's see if we can equalise that. Hello, Dallas. Good night, Dallas. 76,000. Okay. The Helena is sonaring us. So he knows where he knows exactly where we are. He knows I've just fired. Well, the Bayern is pushing aggressively. Although we don't take any damage, he either shatters or ricochets. Same again. We slap him for about 4,000 by the looks of that. And here we go. The Helena's making his push at long last. Get these guns turned. Hello. Right, so we take a. Ooh, that was a painful salvo. So one. Citadel and 2 penetrations for 16,000. And sweet dreams. That brings our kill count up to 3 and 101,000 damage. Alright. Bayern. Are you just going to ignore me, are you? I can live with that. That suits me just fine. Oh, no, no. I'll take it back. Although that was only 1 penetration. So again, you can see the effects of angling this ship. Angling is the key to this ship's survival. If you present too flat a surface, those shells would have just gone straight through and punched into my citadel and probably killed me at this point. Okay, Nagato. Player 2 has entered the fight. Have we given enough lead there? I think we're getting a little bit too much lead, to be honest. Yeah, just one all of penetration there and 1 shatter. Okay. So it looks like our friendly battleship is spotted to the side of the island. Come on, Nagato. I'm over here. Shoot me. Pay attention to me. Oh, I'll take that. What was that? 13,000? Ow. Okay, well, we are at a bit of a problem now. We've got 15,000 hit points left. And no heal. Oh, dear. Oh, it's not a battleship. It's a Dallas. I'm not sure where the rest of the team went, but I think they're all at D for some reason. So we know the Bayern is going to come on the island. And we know the Nagato is probably always going to come on the island. But are they going to be smart? Or are they going to be stupid? What do we think? Smart or stupid? Smart or stupid? Well, I'm spotted, so they know I am here. They know I'm in wait. So if they were clever, they would try and put a bit of distance and try and angle themselves around the island. But this is the play base in general, and well, you can see the results. So we start backing up just a little bit. Try and give that front just a little bit more angling. Keep all guns on target, just to be on the safe side. Slowly, 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 slowly. And here he is. Hello, Mr. Bayern. There's 17,800 for you. And you're firing high explosive. And there's another 4,000. You should have had AP loaded. Alright. Oh, look, he's finding HE again. Oh dear. Well, sucks to be you. Oh, that saves my cells. That saves my shells. For those of you who are wondering, this commentary, it's unscripted. Hence the stammers and the stutters and the little bits of fun. So, Mr. Nagato's coming on the island now. Oh, you'd have thought he would have realised what happened to his Bayern. I guess that happened. Right, so what we've got left, we have a cruiser and we have a battleship left. So there's the hood. Can we get any shots out on the hood from this range? We're detected by a plane. I don't think we've got the range. Oh, there is a shores there. Now that shores looks perfect for a little bit of extra naval penetration. Get the ship turned back around again. So yeah, this is one thing that Nelson is pretty good at. He's pretty good at holding the flank in favourable circumstances. Especially if you have plebs on the enemy team who use HE whilst in a German battleship against ships that can pretty much gobble up AP shells. So if you see Nelson in the situations which you've seen me in, don't use HE, use AP. You'll kill it. You never want to leave a Nelson unattended either, because if you leave Nelson unattended, it's going to keep coming back, and it's going to keep coming back, and it's going to keep coming back. And those shells are going to hit the target. I'm not entirely hopeful. Shores is going to go around behind that island. He's not in gun range. Well, not in shootable range anyway. Because if I fight here, they would just hit that island there. Do we have one shot? Do we have one shot? Oh, bollocks. And the other one missed. Alright. Do we have a chance to get a Kraken? Ooh, if the enemy team doesn't steal it first, we've got a perfect opportunity to get a Kraken here. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, hello. What are you? Are you a Dallas or a Pensacola? I think you're a Pensacola. Yeah, you're ugly. You're too ugly to be a Dallas. Okay. Now, should we be tempt fate and be greedy? Oh, just takes one lucky hit now. Just takes one lucky hit. Oh. No. Rip the dream. The Kraken's gone. Oh. Get out of the way. Shoo. What an absolute dildo. Oh, well, never mind. 10 seconds left. And Dallas is gone. Oh, no. Shores is gone. There we go. That's the end of the game. Well, we made 166,700 damage, 2,000 base XP, 4 kills, but we missed out on the Kraken. Damn it. Oh well. Anyway. And so that concludes our look at HMS Nelson. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give me a great big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel greatly. Let's see if we can get over to 100 subscribers so we can get that custom URL. It'd be lovely if we could. Don't forget to check out the NASA review if you haven't done so already. And also, if you are on Twitch, you could subscribe and follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/not_Cerberus and facebook.com/not Cerberus. I'll leave the links in the description as well. Any kind of subscriptions, follows, anything like that helps the channel out greatly and helps us grow and keeps me coming back to do more. So yes, I think the next video will be probably hopefully out on Monday, not Monday, Sunday, which will be a rundown of what I think will be the best 5 ships of each class for the next season of Ranked. I've set myself a deadline now, haven't I? But yes, thank you for watching, take care, and I shall catch you next time.